But Dan Beyer is the inventor of something that's been a tradition for many years before us, long before Covino and Rich. So we turn it over to Dan Beyer to explain.
Guys, a lot of people make predictions prior to the year, and sometimes they just don't stick with them. You remember what somebody said in week 1 of the season, and then their answer changes, or they want to change the pick. And I felt this was a good way for accountability. But also, let's expand it. Let's talk about your wealth of NFL knowledge. If you don't get the 2 picks right for the AFC and NFC representing the Super Bowl, why not look for a couple of other different places? Like, let's pick the MVP.
I love it.
Hey, who do you think is going to be the worst team in the National Football League? Every year when I would type out my predictions, I would pick award winners, MVP, Coach of the Year, and then I would say, who do I think are going to be the 3 worst teams? And then maybe your favorite prediction doesn't fit any of the categories of Super Bowl or MVP of worst teams. Yeah, if you want to go out on a limb, that's our out on a limb category. Something that you feel is just going to happen this year that nobody's talking about, throw that out there.
Just any random prediction that you feel strongly about.
Yeah, Chiefs winning the Super Bowl is not out on a limb.
Right.
But Denver winning the Super Bowl sure would be, so maybe you want to put that, or Denver just to the AFC Championship game, but they lose. There's no spot for that. That's what out on a limb is for.
DB, just for the sake of Fox Sports Radio history, we've been here for 3 years now? It's total between weekends and full time?
Yeah.
What year around did you start this prediction sheet?
It's I would say probably around 2010, around that time.
Okay.
Yeah. And
everybody, for the record, everybody at Fox Sports Radio fills it out. So it's kind of cool to see who's right, who's wrong. It's accountability, really, is what it is.
Do you want to start? We'll do a couple categories now. Take a breather. We'll come back, do some other categories.
All right, so we'll start with Dan Beyer. Let's start with the AFC champs and the NFC champs. Beyer?
Guys, this is a phrase that I was able to unleash on my Sunday show that I hope that it takes root. Motown versus Snowtown.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that.
This is what we've got for Super Bowl 59. The Lions representing the NFC, the Bills representing the AFC.
Nice.
With the Detroit Lions lifting Vince Lombardi's trophy, the Lions are your Super Bowl champs, adding more misery to the city of Buffalo.
Wow. All right, Covino, so now your AFC champ, NFC champ, and your Super Bowl winner.
My AFC champ, you're going to see him tonight. It's going to be the Ravens.
Oh, you're so Raven.
So Raven. I just think we're going to see some good changes with the team. You already mentioned Henry, Rich. I think Jackson's going to come out. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to beat Mahomes. I think this is the year they do it. So those are the AFC champs.
All right.
You're going to like to hear this, Rich. Your NFC champs are the 49ers.
Oh.
I don't really think there's much competition for your 49ers. I know you don't want to say it.
Yeah.
But it seems pretty obvious. And again, that little window we talk about.
Little window.
You said last year, they got to do it this year. Now this year, they got to do it this year. No, they have to do it this year. They have to. They made all the necessary signings last minute. 49ers, NFC, your Super Bowl champions are your San Francisco 49ers.
Oh. See, I love hearing that, but I also...
Especially with all the noise surrounding your team, Rich, as Cowherd would say.
I love what he said, but I hate it because I have the same exact pick. So just
same exact.
Are you serious?
I filled it out before you, so I'm not copying your answer sheet.
So you're Ravens, Niners.
Last week. Oh.
Yeah, so you're also Ravens, Niners.
I was going to say, I did this yesterday. I did, yeah.
Yeah.
And what did I say? I thought about it.
Hold on.
This is big. I thought I was going to change it, but I was like, you got to stick with your first instincts, right? That's what they always say. Stick with your first pick. Sticking with my first pick. However, Rich, even though we agree here, and when we agree is fact, we still have out on a limb and worst team and MVP.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I think what's interesting, I like this because we have a phrase here on Covino and Rich, because we argue and disagree on most things. But when we agree, it's fact, which may mean the Niners finally get to the promised land. Danny G, you're up.
Or you're both delusional. All right, Spotty, AFC champ, NFC champ, and your Super Bowl winner.
I hate to say it.
Then don't.
I'm not going to. All right, I think it's going to be the Chiefs. I think they're coming back.
All right.
They have to. I feel like the hype is going to going to keep going.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing in the Super Bowl?
Actually, I'm with DB. I think Lions.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Chiefs Lions, and I do think Lions may pull it out this year.
Lions?
I feel like they had so much energy last year, heading into the playoffs, so much excitement. I think they're going to try and recapture that.
Oh, Eminem would be pleased with your pick.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so you're saying Chiefs, Lions.
Chiefs, Lions.
All right, Dan Byer, what says Iowa Sam, you think? Iowa Sam, what do you got?
Man, this is going to be a tough one. What
Wait,
does he
what?
look
You're
like?
up.
You got your picks.
Was Dan
coming up.
guessing for me?
No, he was wondering what I thought
Yeah, what
you
do you
were
think I
going
was
to
saying?
pick. Yeah.
We're doing the Newlyweds game again?
Yeah. What do you got?
So I don't have a catchy rhyme like Dan does, and I thought I was being original and quirky here with my picks, but I am also taking the Bills to win the AFC and the Lions to win the NFC, and I'm going to take the Bills as the Super Bowl champs.
Ooh, Bill, so you're going same as DB, but
I
a
am.
different Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, he's going to Snowtown and
Bills.
Motown. Wow. Okay.
Snowtown.
Danny G.
No town.
Round it out, bro.
Yeah, so I'll follow Byer's rhyme, but mine's different. Hoedown versus Motown. Texans.
Hotown?
I got the
Hoedown.
Hoedown. Texans are going to win the AFC. And the Lions, I think, will win the NFC. They were so close last season.
A lot
of Lions here.
Yeah.
But I have the Texans hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Wow.
So I have the Texans go into the promised land and winning the whole enchilada.
Here's the thing. I love the Lions pick. I love the Texans pick. I love all the picks, right? But sometimes it's so obvious. You know, sometimes you overthink it. And the answer's right there. And I know what Rich and I said seems to be sort of an obvious pick, but that's so likely to happen.
Let me tell you, my Niners is a total homer pick, and I just realized their window's closing, and I'm a Niners fan, and if they don't do it now, it's when are you going to do it?
But think about how the season works, Rich, right? There's all these teams, they're in the mix, and then it always ends up with the same four that you would have predicted early on anyway.
My backup one would have been, I'm curious to see if Joe Burrow and the Bengals deliver, because I think that was I was going to write Bengals, and I'm like, no, I think Lamar finally takes the next step, so I'll stick with Ravens.
All right, when we come back, we'll fill out on a limb, worst team, and MVP.
Oh, you're gonna love some of my picks. They are arguably the best in this whole room of the six of us. All right, more
Dickie Trump, everybody.
More. I got the best picks.
The best.
No one has better picks than me.
We're going over the AFC, NFC winners, Super Bowl champions.
We already did those, so now I think is the fun part.
Out on a limb and worst team and MVP.
Yeah. Where do you want to pick up, Danny?
All right,
Radio.
We'll start back with Byer again. This is for out on a limb, worst team, and MVP.
Ooh.
All right. Do you want me to pick one of those three categories?
Let's go out on a limb first.
Okay. Out on a limb. This is, I made through my division rankings, and I like the Jets to win the AFC East, but I don't think that's out on a limb. So I jumped over to the NFC. There's some Commanders love that you love. I have hope in my Seahawks, and I think the Cardinals are going to be better. But I don't think the Dallas Cowboys will be making the playoffs. I actually have my Seahawks coming in as the 7th seed in the NFC, and the Cowboys, not only do they not win the NFC East, they miss the playoffs entirely this year.
That's an out on a limb.
Yeah.
I like
Settle
that.
down just a little bit.
Sorry, Jerry.
Might mean a change of coach, too.
Okay, so no Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? No, not really.
All
I
right.
don't have the patience to jack with you today.
Covino, you're out on a limb.
It almost goes along with DB and what he was saying. I just think everybody's so high on the Jets, and I don't see it at all because we're from New York,
Wow.
and every season it felt like people are always high on the Jets or had these hopes, and the Jets are going to jet, as they say. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think there's so many question marks there. I think you're really putting a lot on Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what he's got after this injury. To think that they're going to make the playoffs, I know that everyone has them touted really high. USA Today everybody has them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? The Jets? I'm not buying it. So I think they don't make the playoffs. That was my out on a limb.
No Jets, Jets.
Again,
Jets.
based on the hype, because everybody's saying it. And I'm like, really? All right.
So would you go as far to say the Jets will finish under 500?
I think they'd have to be right around 500, if not below 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to go out on a limb. That's the thing. Yeah.
I'm out on a limb. They're not making the playoffs.
They have the 9th shortest odds of winning the Super Bowl, the Jets, and he says they're not even going to make the playoffs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Rich.
My out on a limb, DB insinuated it. I'm high most nights. No, I'm high on the Washington
You are.
Commanders.
Yeah, you are.
The more and more I look into it, DB, I'm feeling that we're so in this mindset of like, well, it's Cowboys or Eagles, and the Commanders and the Giants stink. Not so fast, buddies. I think my out on a limb, Commanders a lock for the playoffs.
Okay.
Wow.
Commanders
Playoff lock.
postseason.
It's the name of the game. Out on a limb, right?
Yeah.
Commanders
absolutely.
in.
All right, Spotty.
This is going to sound crazy, and it's also a bit of a hedge of my bet based on who I chose for AFC and the Super Bowl. We can just say like anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, because we were talking earlier about how Taylor Swift is going to be all over the place, going to be focusing on her a lot. I think, this is crazy, Travis Kelce is going to get injured and be out half the season, which is totally going to bring down the mood. Because I feel like you're just going to pan to the box and you're going to see Travis and Taylor. No, you're going to see them just sitting there.
He wouldn't be in the box with her when he's injured.
No, I think they'd just be sitting there watching the game together. And I think it's going to be misery. So I think it's going to be a Travis Kelce injury for half the season.
All right.
That's the equivalent of a death pool.
I know.
That's why I hate to put it out in the universe.
He's not wishing it. He's
But-
just saying he thinks it could happen.
Because of the hype and attention over that relationship, I think this will skew the dynamic of the entire season.
I think it's fair, and here's why. The NFL is leaning into this so blatantly.
Yes.
So it's fair to speculate.
And I think he's so distracted now. Got the podcast. He's acting. He's going to be in Happy Gilmore 2.
rumors about a fixed romance.
Rumors about that leaked document. I think it's a possibility. I hate to wish injury, but you never know.
All right, Samuel, you're up next.
You said anything.
Is that the rule in like sports, talk radio, and TV? Like, don't wish injuries on
That
people?
wasn't a wished injury.
no,
It was just it was out on a limb.
It wasn't a wished injury.
I didn't say which limb.
All right. I was Sam.
I'm going to say my out on a limb prediction is the Pittsburgh Steelers make it to the AFC title game with Russell Wilson. And it snaps a long playoff win drought for Coach, why am I drinking? Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Who knows with Russell Wilson? A lot of people think he's washed. He very, very well may be, but who knows? Maybe it works. I mean, they had some success with Kenny Pickett. So give me the Steelers to make it to the AFC Championship game.
So you're saying a wild card playoff team got an upgraded quarterback and made some moves, so you don't see why not?
I mean, if they're off, it's just kind of like the Iowa Hawkeyes. If their offense is even like remotely dependable,
It's
they
not
could do
that
big
crazy.
things.
I mean, it's out on a limb, right? 'Cause
It's
you
out
don't
on a
know
limb,
what to
but it
expect.
ain't,
But if
you know.
Tomlin's known for being a winning coach, which he is,
Absolutely.
and then you factor in a guy who has the ability, or at least the resume, to win, maybe it could work.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson's resume is equivalent to being like, I used to work at IBM. I don't know. I mean, we've seen greatness.
Personal computers.
I don't know of anybody that, speaking of the Steelers, to do anything this year.
Yeah, that's a good one,
just in
Sam.
the sense of that.
Yeah, Dan
mean,
Byer's right.
it's bold,
I
yeah.
think that the sentiment mostly is like, oh, there goes the over 500 streak for Tomlin.
Yeah.
So,
2 quarterbacks equals 0.
yeah. All right, Danny G, what you got?
All right, so I'm going to be both a homer and Covino, how would your dad say that about kissing ass? Covino, how would your dad say it?
Why's he gotta be kissing ass?
Hey, always kissing ass.
Yeah, Danny G kissing ass.
Kissing Antonio Pierce's ass.
Look at him kissing ass.
I'm going to be Mr. Positive for 2 teams that I think are going to make the playoffs. Both have really good defenses, but are questionable with what's going on at quarterback. People think they have a stopgap on both teams. That's the Raiders and the Vikings. I'm going to lock both of them into the playoffs.
Woo!
Both wild card teams.
I like, because you know what? I
Rich and I were talking about that today about the Vikings.
Sam Darnold to me is, I know Colin loves him, and I'm not following that trend. I've seen a lot of Darnold and 49er stuff from last year, and a lot of people thought that if Purdy wasn't there, Sam Darnold could have led that team. He's a
No one
qualified
ever
QB.
said that Darnold sucked. Right? Like, no, I never had that
He was put in
opinion.
terrible
He was just in
positions.
bad situations. Yeah. No
Yeah.
one. If
He did
anything,
throw
you
a
know
lot of
he's better than what we've
interceptions.
seen.
And he did say he was seeing ghosts. That doesn't help your cause.
I don't
Was
know.
it around Halloween, Dan Byer, or no? All right, what are we
Well, our
doing?
boss was in here a couple of afternoons ago, and in front of him, we talked good about Sam Darnold, but I really believe it because even with him out of the building, I think Darnold's going to put on a show.
Even if not, I find it to be a really intriguing storyline.
Yeah.
Like where I'm tuning in to see what the Vikings are doing with Darnold.
All right, let's go to the next category, which I believe is worst team in the league. Who's going to be the worst team in the NFL? Dan Beyer, you started off, my friend.
I'm going to pass the hot potato to you, Rich Davis.
Okay.
Because I am going to piggyback on what you say. Because we both have it down on the list.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you, DB. I think that when you look at their schedule, it's not easy. This is a team that could start the season. If you look at their first 6 games, they could be 1-5, 2-4. I heard Cowherd, speaking of Colin, saying that he thinks their coach might be the first on the hot seat. The division got better. They necessarily didn't. I think everyone's going to say the Patriots or the Cardinals. I'm going New Orleans Saints.
Oh.
I think the Saints, the Carolina's only going to be better.
Can't be worse, yeah.
We saw Baker bring Tampa to win that division last year. And, of course, I think the team that wins that division is Atlanta with Kirk Cousins. I think that is the odd team out, and they're going to have a really rough go at it. They might be 4-13, 3-14. I think we're looking at the Saints stinking.
There's no buzz about them at all.
No.
At least in Tennessee, you could be hey, new coach.
Yeah,
and Will Levis era and new running backs. The whole deal.
What's the buzz?
There's
Derek Carr, go get him.
Nothing going on with the New Orleans Saints.
Quarterback competition there.
Yeah.
As far as their fan base is concerned, they want Rattler to start.
So that's no bueno for New Orleans. So me and Dan Beyer got the Saints. Covino, you're up.
I agree there's no buzz about the Saints, but I feel like they finish right above the Panthers, who are still in last place in the NFC South.
Okay.
They were 2-15. I understand it's a different situation this year, but 2-15, all of a sudden they're better than the Saints.
I don't know, maybe Carolina's 7-10, and the Saints are 5.
We'll find out Sunday. They play week 1.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with the Panthers at the bottom. I agree, Rich. The Falcons will be at the top of the NFC South, but I still think the Buccaneers are above the Saints and then the Panthers. So there you go.
Your worst team. So you think
my worst team is the Panthers?
Oh,
Yeah.
So you think that poor Bryce Young gets no love this year? All right.
It's not that, but he can't win by himself. That's how I'm seeing it.
Panthers locked. Spotty?
I'm not saying I'm going to be a follower, but I feel like, try to do a little research, see what's out there. It seems like everyone is saying the Patriots are going to be last.
Yeah,
and I know that seems the obvious answer, but I think
the obvious is
sometimes
the
the obvious is the answer. Yeah. And I'm just going to lean out. I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Yeah. Not a bad pick.
It's not a bad pick.
Iowa Sam.
Sorry for those who have spoken highly of the Vikings. I don't believe in Sam Darnold at all. There's nothing to base that off of. He has failed everywhere he's gone, so I'm taking the Vikings as the worst team.
No Aaron Jones or Justin Jefferson or anyone
their defense,
else?
and they added
Their
Aaron
defense
Jones in
isn't-
the backfield, too.
Okay, great. I mean, he played in Green Bay. He was fine. I mean, their defense has never been that good over the last couple of years with Kevin
I
This
love
Wilson.
Vikings hate.
I love how dismissive I was saying.
Yeah,
sure.
He's fine.
Why do you guys think Sam Darnold is going to somehow succeed when he hasn't done it anywhere else?
He's got a good coach. He's got good weapons.
Yeah, but himself, he throws a lot of picks. He's mistake prone. I don't think he's a top tier quarterback.
Just Justin Jefferson alone will give him almost 2,000 passing
I think
yards.
you still have to have the point A to get to point B, and he's not the point A.
That's a fair one.
Very convincing argument.
And Danny G, wrap it up, my friend.
Yeah, when Matthew Judon was traded to the Falcons by the Patriots, to me it was almost like the Patriots already were like, yeah, we're looking forward to next season. So I know it's the obvious answer, but I'm going to go New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's no buzz about the Saints. There's no excitement about the Patriots.
Well,
excitement. There's none.
I think Dan Beyer backed me up that the fact that they're going Jacoby Brissett is the signal that our young guy's not ready. This is not the year, but we're going to give it our shot. When you start Jacoby Brissett, no offense to him, that's the indicator that, our rookie quarterback, we're not going to throw him to the wolves. We're going to let Jacoby Brissett try to play 500 football and see what happens.
I think that they are protecting their assets.
Yeah.
And at some point this season, Drake May will be the starting quarterback. But, for the time being, why not just roll out the veteran and make sure Drake May doesn't have any bad habits?
Yeah, after decades of Belichick, this is a new start, so you can't expect magic overnight.
Sometimes teams hit rock bottom during a season, like the Cardinals, a couple of years ago, I felt like even entering the season, they had to go down. And then last year, they ended up rebounding, bouncing up. Now, they had the 4th overall pick, so they weren't that great last year, but they played hard. Kyler Murray came back from injury. So there's an example of where the Patriots maybe still haven't hit rock bottom, but maybe will at some point this season and then start their climb back up.
All right, last category.
Yeah.
Danny G,
All
what
right.
do we got?
Quickly, we'll stay with Bayer for MVP.
I've said that I'm going to just pick him until he wins an MVP. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right.
I like that.
Covino.
Mine's boring, man. But like we said, sometimes the obvious is the answer. He won in 2019. He won in 2023. Like I said, I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. He might be playing for that chip. I think Lamar Jackson gets it.
All right. Rich.
You're going to love this one. I'm telling you, this is not my out on a limb. This is my MVP, just for the record. Everything Covino said 5 minutes ago, I'm going to say the opposite.
About what?
Aaron Rodgers is your MVP.
Ooh, it's a fun one.
Aaron Rodgers.
Keep in mind, Rich, though, I'm not rooting against Aaron Rodgers.
I get it.
Just like I'm not rooting against Bryce Young. It's just they're coming off injury. You don't know what you're going to get.
I understand that, you could argue that Aaron Rodgers hasn't done anything since people were wearing COVID masks, but I just think that coming off the injury, he actually has real weapons. That team's defense is good, so they'll be in a lot of games, and I think, listen, wide receiving core, as good as any team he had towards the end in Green Bay, and you have a good head coach in Robert Saleh. I'm a little homer because he was a Niners guy, but I don't know. Breece Hall going to deliver maybe out of the backfield.
Aaron Rodgers, huh?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
All right. Spotty, your MVP.
I feel like everyone would choose the obvious of Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go based on the betting odds, what the odds are right now. You know how when you go out to eat and you always choose the second cheapest bottle of wine?
Yeah.
I'm going to choose who's pretty much in second place as far as MVP odds, and I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Nice.
Iowa Samuel.
What does that say? What's my pick? This person has the last name of Clark. Caitlin Clark's my MVP. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wrong sport, Sam.
Okay. Well, I already wrote that in there, so it's Caitlin Clark.
She's your MVP in life.
That's right. She's my most valuable person.
I know who's not his Sam Darnold's not his MVP.
No,
I know that.
not at all.
Who's your NFL MVP?
I don't know. I already wrote Caitlin Clark in there, so I guess she wins it.
You're such a weenie. Danny G, go.
It's a great joke that we will continue to laugh at
He's
months
leaning
from
into
now.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a second laugh over wings. Remember when Sam said Caitlin Clark?
Can't wait till February.
Yo, did you hear? He said Caitlin Clark again.
hilarious.
Switch it up a little bit. I'm switching it up.
Comedy
Which time's it
at
on?
its finest.
Man, I can't believe he said
Dan's
Caitlin
like,
Clark again.
He's making a mockery of my list.
100%. 100%.
What do you got,
Jokes
DG?
on
All
the
right.
list.
I'm gonna.
Gardner Minshew.
No. I'm gonna prove that I don't take things personal. This guy ignored me and a couple other media members at the Super Bowl. But I still think he's going to have an MVP season, and I'd ignore me too at the Super Bowl. C.J. Stroud.
Oh. Hey, man, and this gets written down officially on the prediction sheet in the studio, right? In the producer studio, and it gets laminated, later today?
Yeah, after the
weekend.
After the first weekend of
So
football,
it's
that gets
official.
I'll be here
laminated.
Sunday, so I'll probably put it on.
All right, great job, Dan Byer. Thanks for doing this. Adds a lot of fun.
Thank you,
nobody
DB.
said Jordan Love MVP. I thought
No.
for sure we'd get one or two of those.
You know what? I was close though, saying Texans Packers Super Bowl. So I was trying to decide between the Lions and the Packers.
Yeah.
Didn't
good.
Colin pick
Yes, he
Jordan
did.
Love as his MVP?
Yeah, he sure did.
And a lot of people have been influenced there, and I've heard a lot of just my friends. Yo, it's Jordan Love season, man. I'm really surprised that no one said that. So, hey, great stuff. I'm going to go fill out the sheet right now.